just took off my old heatsink. So I used this twice. I used it on my old normal Athlon 64 and I put a dual core in. So now, this was obviously not cooling it properly. I've run on it for 2 days and it got to temperatures of about 68, which is way too warm under load. So I'm replacing it with this multi-device type. Hopefully, we'll keep it nice and cool. I'm using this thermal compound. It's supposed to have a pretty good rating. Not the best, but I'm not too bothered. So I've got to change over, I've got to lift the motherboard up because I've got to put this underneath. It's going to be great fun. I've just removed these screws here. This is the old frame for where the cooler sits. So you just lift it out, and with your new heatsink, you get this to slide under the motherboard. But if you look here, there'll already be one to fit your retention screws. So that saves me a job of lifting the motherboard out. And I've swapped over from this one, Intel, to this type, which is AM2, which is what I'm running on. So I'm about to install it. With this, I also get an adapter, which you've got one that plugs into the fan, and I've got one that connects to the speed controller, and one that connects to the motherboard. Now, the speed controller is quite useful because you can have it turned down when you're just using your normal applications, and you can turn it up when you're playing your games. So you can choose whether you want to work in a noisy or a quiet environment. So that's quite helpful. Just going to put some heat paste into there. That's in. I've just took the fan off to get the retention screws in. So now I've got to put the fan back on, but to get the screws back in, I've got to set my graphics card out. Graphics cards out. So now I can continue to put these stupid little screws in. Once that's tightened down, I can start plugging everything in, including the fan controller. Just connected the fan controller and all the wiring. There's a lot of wires to be worn. I've got to sort them out. They are a mess. Just got to connect the power supply to my graphics card back up, which is this 6-pin, which is why I had to buy a new power unit, because I've got so much stuff now that's taking too many watts out of my power unit. Didn't fancy blowing one up, so I upgraded it. Bundle these wires up here and tie them back. That's tied back. That's installed. All the fan connections are in the correct places. All the units all in place, secured. Everything's plugged in where it should be. Now all I've got to do is try and start it up. I've got it running, and the temperature is coming up at 24 and 27 each core on idle. So that's pretty good. Yeah, the processors are running great, the cooler's doing a good job. I'm now running on my Logitech wheel. Driving with one hand,